Let's be real. You knew this video was coming. I always love Miyazaki, whether it's the Miyazaki that makes Howl's Moving Castle, or causing me to doubt myself because I have to fight this fucking boss 40 times because it has this stupid ass mechanic. Sometimes trying to fight these bosses is like separating two 1x1 Lego bricks together while they're oiled up and you're blindfolded. Nightreign has been released, and of course I've already put in a holy amount of hours into it. But I wanted to talk about it because half of the community seems to think that this game is the second coming of Christ, and half of the community thinks this game is absolute dog shit. I've seen this game been called an asset flip, but also been called like a huge innovation in the Souls franchise. It might be the reincarnation of Diablo Immortal, according to some people. Do you guys not have phones? Top 10 worst fucking things to say. Worst outcomes to that scenario. It's an understatement to say that Nightreign is different from the previous games in the franchise. It's an entirely different genre. No more bonfires that teleport you to different places. They work entirely different. There is no more custom-made builds. Every level is predetermined, and your character just hits a max level of 15. And there's not even unique characters anymore. And I'm not saying that any of this is a bad thing. I'm just pointing out that it is very different from the FromSoft formula that we're used to. It's a 3-player roguelike where you can choose from a pool of characters, 8 specifically, 2 needing to be unlocked after you start playing the game, the Duchess and the Revenant. All of them have unique abilities, and all of them have unique playstyles that every player can choose from according to how they want to play the game. You use these characters in runs to defeat these bosses called Night Lords, and you have 3 days to prep to fight them. All of them ranging in their own difficulty, some of them being very easy, like the Tricephalos Cerberus dog, some of them being fucking so difficult, like hard. And I think half that is because the teammates that I had were idiots. Playing with randoms is a boss in itself. So let's talk about it. Whenever the game opens, you are met with a banging soundtrack that we've all come to know from FromSoft, and it's amazing and does not drop the bar at all. Start with the basic tutorial where you learn some of the game mechanics. You're put through some basic attacks, some basic blocks. You learn how the Wilder character works, and you fight Margaret, and he beat my ass because I'm not good enough to beat the starting boss in this one. Then you get set to the round table hold, which is cool, but the round table hold in this game is a little different. Like I mentioned previously, there's new banded characters that you can play as, and there's 8 of them in total. You have the Iron Eye, the Wilder, the Guardian, the fucking bird guy, the Raider, the Duchess, the Recluse, the Executor, and the Revenant. All of them have entirely different abilities and play differently by a lot, and you can talk to them.
I can't believe it. Facing, if such is our fate, we must rise to the task.
And play as all of them. And my favorite, or my 2 favorites, is the Raider and the Iron Eye, because it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I want to get in there and be more active in playing and do some cool shit, I play the Raider. If I want to sit back and click the attack button over and over again and watch damage come in, I play the Iron Eye. Playing the Iron Eye is like playing a tactical Roomba. You kind of just slide around with his attack and mark people with weak points, and if you make them red enough, they blow up, and then the enemy gets stunned. And you just sit back and slide around and hit people with arrows. And his ultimate is a big-ass bow that does a ton of AoE damage and clears out an area faster than a kiosk at the mall whenever a guy's coming after you and asking if you want to buy some shit. The Raider, which is my second favorite, is a huge barbarian strength build, and you go around hitting people with big hammers and dual-wielding them. Also, one of his abilities is just to deck people in the face, and then his other one is to make this huge tombstone pop up out of the ground, which sometimes is the most inconvenient thing because the boss will physically get stuck inside of it. All of the characters have a super cool backstory, though, and quests that you can do to learn more about it. For example, the Iron Eye quest shows that he was once part of a band of bandits and ran away, and that's why he's here. The Revenant story is so sad. Oh my god. Legitimately one of the most horrific cutscenes I've ever watched in a game. But I appreciate that this game doesn't follow the traditional formula of a Dark Souls game, because it takes a lot of guts to stray that far from the path and still do it relatively well, which is very brave and not something that many franchises have done exceedingly well. And it gets a lot right, but oh my god, what it gets wrong, it does get wrong. Some things are strong in this game, like the overall gameplay mechanics and the routine of every boss run is super fun. You get into the game, and there's a skill curve where you learn what you're supposed to do, and as you learn it, it becomes much more fast-paced and more fluid. You get into the game, you level up as much as you can to fight the first night boss, you run around to these churches to grab more flasks for your Estus flask, and you do the same thing on day 2, looking for better items for your character's builds, and looking for legendary items, and leveling up as much as you can to eventually fight the final boss. After you figure out that every location on the map has a boss that you attack, you basically just cycle through all of the locations on the map as fast as you can, fighting as many bosses as you can, in hopes that you'll reach the max level of 15 for the final boss and gather all the flasks on the map. Now, day 2 is a little different just because there are elites that spawn and they're marked by this purple skull with a little red outline on it. And you go there and you try and kill all of them because they drop a higher rarity items than the normal bosses do on day 1. So you rinse and repeat this cycle for every boss, and it can get a little repetitive at times, but I still thought it was very fun. And after you defeat the final boss, you get cool cosmetics that are homages to previous games, and overall the gameplay loop is very fun. All of the bosses are challenging, like pretty hard, to the point where you're a little scared of them, because whenever you reach them, you realize that you've spent 20 minutes getting there, and if you die, you have to do all of it over again. It's not like a normal Dark Souls game where you have a bonfire you spawn at and you just run back to the boss, unless it's Dark Souls 2, which had some of the fucking worst runbacks to bosses in history. But it also makes the bosses a little more exciting whenever you're playing with friends, because it's high pressure and you're yelling at each other, and it's a super fun and fluid environment.
Both of you are dead?
If you could pick me up, I have my whole if I need to.
Please? Oh shit!
That's so unfortunate.
Wait, he's alive.
I picked him up. Yeah, I used my ult. Yo,
He's
the
dead.
command
He's
grab
dead.
just lasts
He's
so
dead.
long.
He's dead. He's so dead.
And it is precisely what I wanted out of this game gameplay-wise. The basic gameplay loop is very enjoyable, but can get a little stale after you've defeated like 5 bosses. I'm hoping that they remedy this with the enhanced Night Lord fights that they've been talking about and the different kind of patches they want to do. But that also brings me to the cons that I wanted to talk about, which are, there's not like that many, but the ones that there are is very strong. There's no player communication besides marking stuff on the map. What? It's a co-op roguelike, and you can't like talk to your teammates other than marking stuff on the map or doing emotes. And like the most an emote says is hey. And so what ends up happening is if you're playing with a friend duo and there's a random, sometimes the random will just fuck off and go do his own thing, and it ends up kind of screwing your entire run because you're down a teammate because you guys aren't coordinating together like you should be. I find that whenever I play solo, it is actually very easy because I'm often playing with a duo and I just follow them. However, other solos will just go do their own shit and you kind of just have to deal with it. And that brings me to the second point. There's no duo mode, which is crazy to me. Why is there only solo and then trio and no duo? FromSoft fans don't have that many friends. It's just such a basic feature that feels like it should be in a game like this, and it just isn't. I know that they're planning on adding it, but like, it should have been in there already. And the game does get stale after a little while, and it's usually remedied by just me taking like an hour or 2 hour break, and I still love the game. Like, I'm nowhere near getting tired of the game, because I think that the Remembrance quest lines and cutscenes do bring a lot to it, and I think that them adding a little bit more would really add a lot of it. The best way I can describe it is that I love the game and I love Miyazaki's world. I just wish that maybe it was like 10% more deeper and fleshed out, and it would be absolutely perfect. I don't understand the hate that this game's getting to the extent that it is by some people. I still think that it's a wonderful game. I just think that it's not nearly as strong as like the previous games, but it's also the FromSoft catalog, so it's still great. So is Nightreign worth it? If you love pain, chaos, and bullshit, then yes. Yes, I happen to be a fan of those. If you want to communicate with your friends, then probably not. But all jokes aside, I do genuinely enjoy the game, and I think that if you guys want to take a chance on it, you should. It's a lot of fun. But I think that that's all that I really had to say. So I'll see you guys next time, and bye.